Hello and welcome everyone to my office once again. I have rearranged, reorganized everything, and gave it a deep clean. And I'm really happy with how it turned out, as I usually am after these overhauls. My office is a part, like an extension of me. And as I evolve as a human being and my needs change and shift, so does my office. I have a bench here that will actually serve as my morning writing space for journaling. I intend on bringing my kerosene lamp and putting it down here to write by lamplight in the early morning. But I'm going to keep it up on top of my desk for now because Bean will knock it down if I were to leave it at his level. Speaking of Bean, this is his cage here. He's actually sound asleep in his little sleepy sock. Bean's cage also functions as an additional workspace. This is where I do a lot of my cutting for stickers. You can see I have some rulers hanging here on the wall. It also has his food and treats, a trash can, this really awesome light by Canvas. This is what I use to film a lot of my videos when I need a hands-free experience. But also is a really nice work light too, because I could pull it out wherever I need it to be. This is also my computer charging station. And over here, I have a little shelf with some special trinkets. This door goes out into the living room. This is a clay mask I made of my dog years ago when he passed away. And this is actually a little ball of his fur. And recently my cello got a new bridge. These are some of my currently most used bags, I should say, purses, backpacks, whatnot. And this is the closet that is extremely full and very challenging to navigate. But we only have 2 closets in this house, so we have to fill them up to the brim as best we can. Over here is this, what do you call it? A dresser that I believe Brian's grandpa made. It really fits here, and I have tried to think of it in other places in this room, but it just fits here so perfectly that this is where it always remains. So not much has changed on this front. I did, however, clean out and organize the drawers just a little bit, and I'll show you that in just a moment. And I've put up some pictures of my mom and dad. And this is my mom, hello, and my grandpa, and my favorite lamp. So these drawers here are kind of junk drawers and they're still a mess, so I'm not even gonna bother opening them. But in here we have papers, notebooks. These are some empty organizing vessels. I have some of my favorite pen pouches. This is the fullest drawer. This is all of my writing instruments, inks, and pencils and fountain pens, so it's quite full and very difficult to close. So anyways, this is a drawer that is now holding yarn. I'm not really sure what the best method of storing yarn is. I was a little worried that if they were just exposed that they would be eaten by moths over time. But then again, I have a bunch of wool sweaters and flannel that I have hanging in my closet that's exposed as well, and it's not getting eaten. But I do know we have moths here. And I don't know, maybe that's really silly because I have a blanket right there, a wool blanket that hasn't been eaten by moths. So I don't know. I will say that that blanket gets used often, and I'm worried that things that are just sitting in a space for a prolonged period of time will become moth-ridden. Anyways, rambling on too much about that, I think. Let's look at the other part of the office. This is my bathroom. Nothing special to see in there. I have my dog collection, which maybe has some new dogs since I last shared. I don't know. These two are my newest, so I kind of think that they haven't been showcased in a video yet. And then this is a barbed wire wreath that I made when I was doing a fencing project over the weekend, taking down old fencing and putting up new wildlife-friendly fencing to keep cattle out of a spring site. So I just thought they were so beautiful once rolled up like that. Just great texture and colors. And then I have, again, some more little trinkets. My horse collection. I have a huge collection of these little tiny horses, but these are some of my favorites that are out. I've actually put all of my other horses away. This is one of the bookshelves. And down here is a basket that has some fabrics. I have big hopes and dreams and wishes to start sewing my own clothes this year. So in preparation for that, I organized this little space and kind of created space for fabric. And I know if I continue to make clothes for myself, that I will probably outgrow that really quickly, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. This is my reading and knitting chair, also sometimes functions as a space for Dot. And this is my knitting basket for current projects. So I have just started a pair of socks for Brian, and this is my cardigan. And another bookshelf. My bookshelves are starting to get kind of full. I'm a little worried about the day when I no longer have room for all the books. I used to have so many more books. It's really sad, actually. I had some beautiful collector's books, art books, and so many books. And when I divorced, I lost them all because I was so eager to leave and get out of the house at that time. It was a bit of a rough spot. And so I left them all behind and they got donated. Anyways, but I think about them often. I can't help but that's the one thing that I wish that I had kept, but I only packed what I could fit in my car. Anyways, we have a typewriter, some toolboxes for sewing and leather craft and other crafts, cutting board, my desk, which I have shared so many times in videos, and it has been cleaned and reorganized. Oh my word. Oh, I wish I caught a before picture, but let me tell you, this space was getting so cluttered and chaotic and disorganized and so messy. That's the beauty of having a secretary desk, is I can just shut it at the end of the day when I'm done working and not look at it anymore. But after a while, the mess and the chaos just starts to feel very dampering on one's creative process. So it was time. And now I feel super inspired and excited to get to work again and use my new space. I'll know where everything is, and everything has a place. In this top drawer, which is the least convenient drawer to access when the table is down. And before, I had some things that I used actually in my crafts that were always a pain in the butt to get to. So I decided, why keep them up here? I'm going to move them down to a different drawer that I don't have to lift up my workspace every time I want to access the drawer. So now I have packing materials and lots of extra journals waiting to be filled. Midori, B6 Slims, and Leuchtturms. I'm a bit of a journal hoarder because I'm always worried that if I cannot, for whatever reason, order journals, I won't have a journal to write in. And true, I could probably just find any surface to write on, but I like my little spaces. Down here, I have mostly collage materials. And at the bottom drawer are more craft supplies, leatherworking and sewing and collaging and tape. My cello. And here we are. This is right where we started, I believe. So that is my office. But wait, before you go, I wanted to just share a little footage of different spaces actually getting used. So here is my reading knitting nook in which I am working on a sock. It's quite a comfortable space and the lighting is really good. Definitely have learned that knitting and reading with good light is really valuable. So in my desk drawer where all of the collage materials have been kept, I had this huge folder of pieces of magazines that I had already cut out with the intention of collaging with them. And I was just holding on to them and I hadn't used them for months and months and months. And so I put them all aside and I'm putting them to use and I'm just going to slap them into my journal and not overthink it because I definitely felt like I was coveting these little images a little bit too much and I was afraid to use them, afraid that I might regret how I used them. And then they've just been taking up space. So now they're finally getting used and I'm pretty happy about that. Good morning, Bean. You ready to come out? Good morning. And in the morning, if Bean doesn't sleep out under our bed, when I wake up, he's ready and waiting to be released. Our habit is to then walk to the kitchen, where I will make my coffee, and Bean will get his little treat. And then with coffee made, I write in my journal. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.